Brainstorming, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy or game design. I'm Trevor Scott, and with me as always is Ben Slinger.
Hi. This week our guest is Inge Berman. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi guys. Yeah. So I am from a company called S1T2, and I'm working on a virtual reality title at the moment called Kept. It's a narrative-based game in VR, and it's an adventure game. So it's kind of a new sort of idea in VR at the moment. So it's all pretty new to all of us at the moment. And I'm an artist working on the game. So just working on making the game really immersive and beautiful, and just making people feel like they're a part of a really beautiful and magical environment.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I had a look at the website and sort of what you're doing there as a studio in general. It looks like you get to do a lot of innovative, different, interesting things at S1T2. So that's really cool.
Yeah. It's a really exciting project and a really exciting company as well. They do a lot of really, they're a creative tech company. So they work with a lot of different projects and ideas and stuff. It's all about new ideas of how to immerse people in experiences, really. And S1T2 stands for Story First, Technology Second. So they kind of incorporate that in all of their projects. So it's an exciting place to work at.
Yeah. Trevor, you were saying you sort of really like that concept of story first, technology second.
Yeah, because a lot of the games out there at the moment certainly don't seem to have the story as an integral part.
Yeah,
which
particularly
is
the VR
all well
stuff.
and good, but
there's a lot of experiential sort of stuff, but not necessarily really story or narratives kind of thing. So
yeah, well, because it is it's complicated to do, because it is kind of, you want to give that sort of cinematic and that really immersive feeling, but I don't know. It's a complicated medium to work with, because you really have to, you don't ever know where somebody's going to be looking, and you kind of need to, work with that. Okay,
so I think we should get into the meat of our program.
Yes.
Which is today Click Pitch again.
For those who are just joining us this episode, we each take a random word from a random word generator, and we will try to come up with a game based on those words. And this week we have a little bit of a wrinkle, because the Global Game Jam was, 2 weeks ago now. We are going to try, where it is appropriate, perhaps not every round, but we're going to try to work this year's theme into our games. And this year's theme was waves.
Okay, so let's get started. 3, 2, 1, click.
Pedestrian.
Waves.
Advise.
Okay. Advise. Pedestrian waves. So waves of pedestrians?
I'm going to the obvious of like waves of water that are about to wash pedestrians off the sidewalk, and you need to kind of advise them.
You're
to
advising
get out of
them.
the way.
I actually went to a Mexican wave. So I saw it as like I immediately saw, okay, pedestrians, and someone starts a Mexican wave, and someone's advising people on how to actually do the Mexican wave. Just up
for those outside Australia, I think it's only in Australia that we call it the Mexican wave.
Really?
I think so. Yeah. So if we have any North American listeners, they probably think that's really racist. It's actually called the Mexican wave, I'm fairly certain, because it started at like a game in Mexico or involving Mexico. So it's nothing racist. It's just where it started. But yes, I think they just call it the wave.
Okay.
But anyway, just as a diversion there, just covering our
If you call it the wave, though, people are going to understand what you're saying. If you say
we'll
the
continue.
wave.
People in Australia won't.
We'll continue with the Mexican wave. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure any international guests didn't think we were like racist assholes.
We're not racist. It's just what we say, and we're sorry.
Yes. I like that, because I mean, Mexican waves are hard to get started sometimes, so they need some advising.
Like a slow clap.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe there's like a beach ball, that maybe you're just whacking around a beach ball, and that's sort of, I don't know, that's often part of it, that you hit the beach ball as it comes around or something.
And that directs where the wave starts. Like, it makes people go up into the wave where the beach ball goes, because they
exactly, because they're trying to reach it, and so it's sort of these waves of people just raising their hands, guided by where this beach ball is going.
Yeah.
So perhaps there's then that's not a goal in itself. Perhaps that's the actual mechanic to achieve a goal of some kind. But I don't know, what's a good reason why you'd need people to do a Mexican wave?
Maybe you're on a stage and you want the crowd to get
rowdy.
The crowd to be, you're whacking
it could just be
the crowd.
Yeah. Maybe it's just an add-on. It's just an add-on for Rock Band.
Yeah.
well, maybe it's a whole heap of like mini games in VR.
Okay.
So it's all these different waving games. So maybe one is say, you've got to advise pedestrians where to go on the sidewalk because of, there's massive waves coming in and washing people away if you don't sort of lemmings them around.
Yeah.
But then you've got
lemmings
other
as a verb.
ones
I like
where
it.
And then you've got like the Mexican wave where you got the beach ball and all that sort of stuff, and with the Vive controllers you're actually part of this massive crowd wave in a stadium, and that's just another mini game. And
I'm not sure this is VR. I think this might be a Nintendo Switch mini game like launch title.
Okay, so you got the Joy-Cons to do it.
Joy-Cons to do it.
And all you have is direction of this beach ball. Is that to direct?
Well, yeah.
The
Is that in
pedestrians?
Is that in all of them? So the one on the sidewalk with the waves coming up, you're just throwing the beach ball at them to get them out of the way.
You're throwing the beach ball, and then they try and dive for it, and that's how you actually save them from getting.
Or get out of the way of it if you just fire it directly at them.
Yeah, it actually.
Well, I like that.
Yeah, you can either smash them in the face to get them out of the way, or make them dive for it.
So you've got sort of like the boom blocks, like throwing action.
Yeah.
Where you move the symbol around and then you got to make the action.
To show
okay, I like that.
How hard you throw it, yeah. You can either kind of lob it and they'll try to hit it, or you can just slam it straight at them and they'll try to get out of the way and then berate you.
But I think in the game, when you throw this beach ball, there's got to be some of them actually stay behind. If they don't bounce off the screen, then they actually stay behind, so you can actually throw it at someone, they get knocked off, they bounce into another one, and then they...
Into another pedestrian?
Into another pedestrian, right. And you get, a bit of ragdolling sort of happening.
Yeah, we just have... Everybody's made out of really bouncy material, so they're all just kind of bouncing around the screen. Could be quite ridiculous.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Okay, so what other waving things?
I mean, you can actually just wave at people like hello.
Yeah, like with their hands, yeah. Hi.
Yeah. That could also be a thing. I mean, if it was in VR, then you could wave the controller in some kind of way, and that actually just makes you wave at them, and then they wave back. Yep. It's friendly.
It's just there's not even any game mechanics. It's just waving. You just get to wave at people and feel good about
it. Yeah, it's just nice. Hello.
They wave back. You feel acknowledged.
Yeah, you feel good about yourself.
It could be really helpful for some people.
Turn off the console and go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm also seeing, like, remember that episode of Futurama where they went to like the edge of the universe and they saw the other thems from the other universe waving back at them.
Oh yeah.
It could literally be that. I don't know. Does the Switch have a camera?
I was just about to say, does the Switch have a camera? It just like adds a random hat onto you and you get to wave to yourself. Different alternate universe versions of yourself.
And it's just called self-acknowledgement. Yeah, that's cool. That's sort of an augmented reality kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But all you get to is you just get to wave. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, alternate universe version of me.
Yeah. Oh,
I still like the idea is that's one particular component of something.
No,
else,
that's the whole game.
Get people...
That's the whole game. It's going to sell out. People are going to
How much is it going to cost? I mean, Snipper Clips is going to cost us like $20 American. So how much is this going to cost?
It's the pack-in game.
A lot of ads.
Nintendo doesn't do good pack-in games like they used to,
Oh, like the good old Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt.
Exactly. All right, I think we click again.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, click. Axe.
Declaring.
Bark. Or possibly waves, if that doesn't work.
Just waves and everything.
Wait, so axe, like A-X-E?
No, but axe and bark. That's like...
A-X-E.
Some kind of arbor game.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was thinking bark like a dog, but yeah, that makes more sense.
Well, it doesn't
Then it's just a dog-killing game, and we don't want to do that. That's horrible.
Please not kill dogs with an axe in this
game.
Okay.
They're rabid dogs, and you got to take them out with an axe.
And you have to declare it.
And sorry, what was...
Immediately after.
What was your word, Inge?
Mine was declaring.
Declaring,
so,
right.
You have to say, I'm sorry, I just killed that dog with that axe.
No, it's just, you just have to...
I'm going to kill this dog.
Yeah, you just have to call... It's like billiards, you just have to call your shot.
Killing.
It's like the beagle in the right hand corner. All right. Ah, crap! I hit the deduction.
Minus 10 points.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You lose points if you hit the one you didn't call.
Yeah, not the pug. Oh.
Although you get bonus points for the
Okay,
pug. They're pretty small.
so instead of that, because that's just really bad,
Yeah, it's horrifying.
same game, but trees.
Okay, all right. That's good. Yeah.
But trees.
You're a lumberjack, but you have a really big phobia of trees. I'm not sure how you got into that line of work, but you're actually afraid to go too close to them. So you have to cut them down just by throwing axes at them. You've got
So
endless,
it's in VR, and
you've got an endless supply of axes.
You've got the two controllers in your hand, and you throw. But you have to alternate hands. So you can't just.
Well,
go
I don't think you have. I don't think you
1, 2,
have to.
3.
I think it's just that's the pro technique, right? Maybe it's one of these things where, every time you reach behind your back, you get a new axe in your hand.
I like that mechanic.
Oh, yeah.
That's
so
pulling arrows out of a quiver.
Yeah, like a quiver and stuff. Yeah. So every time you reach behind your back, and maybe if you turn around, you just see there's a little guy there, and he's got a big sack of axes, and he's handing them to you.
That's awesome.
But so if you want, you can do two hands and just throw. But do we need voice recognition then? If you're calling out the trees that you're gonna.
I actually think the dude behind you is calling out where you got to throw, what tree you got to hit next.
Okay.
So he's declaring the trees.
Yeah, it's that
He
tree
says,
is evil.
Redwood on
Kill
the
it.
left, or something. Or,
Get the one behind the three.
Maybe you have to.
fuck.
You actually, it's educational. You have to really play it well. You have to learn the types of trees.
Yeah, it could. It could teach you about tree types. It's
Go
great.
for the larch.
Cut down the gum tree.
A fine pine this time.
That's cool. Actually,
Right.
that could just be one of those fun little fruit ninja sort of things where it's just a good little arcadey kind of game. But yeah, you have to the thicker obviously the bigger the tree, you have to just throw a ton of axes at it and get it right on each time.
Like ninja stars. It'll be quite satisfying.
Yeah. And obviously, depending on where you hit it and how much you cut through it will depend on where it falls as well. So maybe you can get combos or something.
And squash things.
Yeah, you have to make sure you don't squash yourself. So, you need to cut it down on one. If you just cut it down on the side facing you, it's just going to fall straight towards you and kill you. So
Yeah.
unless you step to the side when it comes down and then it just kills the little guy who's handing you the axes.
Well, if it's in room scale VR, then you can move out of the way when the trees fall towards you.
Exactly.
Oh, that could be kind of awesome. You got a certain distance that you can get within the trees, and maybe you can teleport to the different positions.
Yeah.
So that you can maybe get a better throw on it, but you can't get within 10 meters of a tree or something like
there's
that.
a bunch of different strategies you could do here then, because maybe he's declared that you have to cut down a certain tree. So maybe it's not just that.
And there's other trees in the way.
There's other trees in the way. You can't actually get close enough for how far you can throw them. So you have to strategically cut down a path to it so you can get close enough
to the mother tree.
Yeah, or to whatever your. Well, that's the end goal. That's the end goal. You're just on the outside of this massive ancient forest, and you have to destroy the mother tree.
It turns into a really depressing Fern Gully type story where you realize you probably shouldn't have cut down all those trees.
Yeah, there's a moral, a moral to the whole thing.
Yeah, we're teaching people.
Good deep
People about
story
trees
first. Story first, right?
Yeah, right.
So
every time.
I'm thinking that maybe you can actually go close to a tree, but because it's in VR and you can actually slightly dim the view, and he's actually sort of starting to hyperventilate or something like that. So because he's too close to a tree.
If you get too close to a tree, then you get some disadvantages.
You hear the character deep breathing, and
your axes wobble a bit when you throw them,
and your vision starts blacking out from the edges.
Your vision starts going in and then comes out and brings in from the edges and becomes real narrow tunnel vision. And you can maybe go in, get 3 sort of strikes at the tree if you want to start.
Oh, so you can actually So you can actually swing your axe rather than throwing it and actually hit it, but you've got a real limited amount of time that you can be that close to a tree before you just pass out.
Yeah, so you can actually go in and maybe double axe it for a little bit, going both hands on the axe.
But if you get too overwhelmed, your axe turns into a paper bag, and you can't do anything apart from put the paper bag up to your face and breathe into it for a bit.
Yeah, you have to.
It's like your health.
So when you're speed running it, you've really got to, as you're running towards it, you're throwing axes at it, and then you're like you're trying to hit it up
before your vision goes dark,
and then quickly run away again. And
paper bag in one hand, axe in the other.
Yeah, you can switch.
Basically, the
them.
paper bag is almost a time penalty that you're definitely going to lose those 20 seconds. And
that's if you let it go too far. Yeah, then you have to stand
that's
there.
living life on the edge of lumberjack life.
I'm sorry to all the actual lumberjacks out there. I'm sure you don't actually double axe a tree, but it sounds cool.
Or have a phobia of trees.
Well, yeah, probably. Some might. They could develop it over time, I'm sure. All that wanton destruction of nature.
I'm also seeing, you've got to bring in the whole idea of the Monty Python song, the lumberjack song.
Oh, I've had that in my head this whole time.
At one part, so he's dressing up in high heels and all that sort of stuff. So your character, as he goes on, he skips and jumps and all that sort of stuff.
So basically, you're saying there's
fabulous
like
lumberjack.
There's a character customization aspect to the game.
Yeah, and you can go that way, and if you manage to choose all the right things, then during the end credits you get the Monty Python song.
You get the Monty Python song instead of the actual really like somber song that we had
heavy metal
that we had specially written because after you kill the ancient mother tree you realize what you've done, and it's this real like down note on the ending, but you've learned something.
The blue cats come out and you go, oh my god, what have I done?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no.
Then you've unlocked Avatar mode, and you get to play as what are they called? As a Na'vi. And the only thing that's different, is your like perspective is slightly higher. If you
Level
look down,
2 is just Avatar.
Your perspective is your perspective's slightly higher, but you also double axing.
Right, that's when
that would be cool.
That's when you unlock double axing.
If the second level was that you're playing as the Avatar people and you actually have to play against yourself who had just played that round of the lumberjacking.
Oh,
so you can see exactly the movements that you just played as, except you have to battle yourself and how well you did.
Nice. Wait, are you still cutting down trees though?
Yeah. Oh, as an avatar?
Yeah.
So you're like, I don't know, rebuilding them or hugging them?
What's the reverse of an axe?
What's the reverse of an axe? That is a question that is
maybe
never been asked.
It's a special undoing
of
axe
mankind.
that you're repairing
Got
the
some
tree.
sort of tree healing serum.
Tree healing serum.
You know that I want Steam Workshop support in this as well, so I want to see people creating lightsabers and stuff that you can use to cut down trees and.
Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, so your healing serum could just be yet another thing that you throw at it, I guess, and it's in the multiplayer mode. One person's throwing axes or lightsabers, I guess. The other person's throwing the healing serum, and it's whoever's the most accurate to actually
planting new trees that. You they use as shields.
You like block them in and
yeah, just encase them in trees and then they lose.
That'd be fun motion in VR, I'm sure. Like throwing seeds down and seeing them blast up out of the ground.
I'm obsessed with that idea. I just need to put that in any game.
That'd be really cool.
That I possibly next make, just growing things.
We need to get
Evergreen to put in a mod.
Yeah, I was going to say
you can.
Evergreen VR version.
Yes, please put in a request for me. Like Inge wants it, thanks.
Okay, let's continue. Yep. 3, 2, 1, click.
Carrying.
Impulse. That works well because I got Enterprise.
Oh my god. It's just like...
So you're carrying the Impulse. What are they? Impulse torpedoes.
Oh,
is that one of the things?
Impulse engines.
Oh, it's the engines.
Aren't they?
Wait, what are the torpedoes?
They're photon.
Photon torpedoes. Oh, you're right.
What?
Right.
Why are they photon torpedoes?
On the Enterprise. On the Star Trek Enterprise.
Yeah. Oh, right.
We're talking Star Trek.
Right, of course. Because, sorry. Carry on.
That's... I realised neither of us said the word Star Trek. We just kind of heard Enterprise and assumed
we just assumed
what was happening.
I feel like it's my fault for not watching.
That's fine. No, this would have worked better if you got Photon, Trevor, not Impulse.
Yeah, okay. So, What's actually happened is the Enterprise has been knocked down to impulse power only.
Okay.
So you got to carry the dilithium crystals, and put them into the warp engine so that you can actually get it going again.
And there are waves of enemies coming, just to bring waves in.
And you can't actually attack anything because you're carrying these crystals.
Yep.
Or they're shooting lasers at you, and you have to use the crystals to divert the lasers back at them.
Oh yeah, I like that.
That's cool.
I like that a lot.
Is it another VR game so you can really get the
Oh yeah,
directionality of it? So basically, it's a Star Wars lightsaber laser deflecting game, except it's Star Trek themed, so it has to be dilithium crystals doing it because there are no lightsabers in Star Trek.
Yeah, so it's dilithium crystal deflecting.
Yeah,
I would hope that this game would actually come with a sort of crystal that is your controller as well, so you can actually feel
definitely.
the kind of the size and weight of it and everything.
Yeah, they need to start. They're going to start doing that sort of thing, aren't they? Because they've got those sensors that you can just throw onto anything now. So
yeah, exactly. Really experimental kind of controller things. I'm excited about that.
That's really cool.
It kind of like how when
it's a really expensive game it comes with a crystal.
You know how when all these games come out for like the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 and then the Xbox One, and they all come with like their own versions of the peripherals. You have to go, I've got a PSVR version, so it comes with the PS controller
the PSVR compatible crystal. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, PSVR compatible crystal, and then you got the HTC Vive compatible crystal, and you got the Oculus compatible. Yeah,
they all get their exclusive colors.
And when you're not using them, they're lava lamps. Perfect.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Like great in your living room.
If they're actually lava lamps, that'll make it really cool to watch while you're playing as well. They're just like.
Well, you'll have the headset on, but for other people,
for other people, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Except for when you smash them.
You're just like
until you accidentally let go of
your house.
Huge, heavy crystal lava lamp and throw it into your TV.
Don't drop it.
Smash! Oh shit!
Oh crap!
I've got lava all in my carpet.
Don't think it's actually lava, Trevor. Sorry to burst your bubble.
Oh shit! I've got goop on my carpet then.
It's like telling someone that Santa doesn't exist. You can't tell people that there's no lava in lava lamps. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so I like the idea of you're an engineer in engineering. Are you a red shirt?
You're a red shirt at the beginning, and if you haven't watched Star Trek, this is not actually a good one to do because it's not going to make any sense. But
that is okay. I'm more than happy to listen.
Red shirts are known for dying a lot, particularly in the original series of Star Trek, because they're not part of the main cast. But anyway, what I was going to say is you start off as a red shirt at the beginning because until you level up enough, because you have gotten good enough that you aren't just constantly dying over and over.
Can you have like a call from your mum that's like, I've just bought you a new shirt and I just sent it over to you. It's blue this time.
Oh my god, it's not red.
Oh my god, yay, level up. Ding.
I love that as a level up ding is a call from your mum. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You leveled up.
I made her like
a
strange old Jewish woman. I really didn't mean to make her that.
The captain just called.
I'm so proud of you.
You got a promotion. I've sent over the green shirt.
I embroidered your name on it. Thanks, Mom.
That's another character customization. You can actually like design the shirts that your mum sends you. Like,
that's so nice.
There's like a crocheting simulator or something.
Are they crocheted shirts?
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're carrying the dilithium crystals, putting them into the warp drive, kind of like a What I'm thinking is it's kind of like one of the coal engines on a train that you're just
throwing
sort
them
of
in.
shoveling them into.
Yeah, I thought that for a second, but I wonder if it'd be better if it has to be a more precise thing. It's maybe a bit like reverse Jenga, so you have to like slot them in without knocking over the whole, like, or pushing other ones out.
With one hand, you're like trying to put it in, and with the other one, you're
deflecting all the people. Exactly, yeah.
Mm. So you'd have like a shield kind of thing on one arm, and then being careful with the crystal on the other.
Well, I think you've literally just got one of the crystals in your other hand, and you have to like deflect the lasers with it very accurately. I don't know. I feel like we're going to get a lot of Star Trek fans who are going to like write in and say, dilithium crystals can't deflect lasers. What are you talking about? They just explode or something.
I'm going to get in trouble.
I don't know enough to know whether that's the case. So we're going to keep going and say, yes, they will deflect them.
Good.
So let's click again.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Click.
Ambiguity.
Mod.
I got move.
So how can you move in something about moving in ambiguous ways? Like which direction you're going to do? It's a game where you're walking down like a footpath and someone else is coming towards you.
It turns into like a Monty Python silly walks kind of thing.
Yeah, well, and I'm just thinking, because you know that thing that happens when like you're coming towards each other, but you both go in the same direction and then you both go in the other direction. So it's like ambiguous as to which way you're going to turn.
Yeah, because that's
I'm
the
not
worst.
I'm not sure how you make it into a game. It could be a really basic like VR game or something, or like Trevor. I was just thinking the Wii Fit board again, but
I played one of those the other day and it was really fun, and that would be perfect. It'd be like a combination between that and VR.
Yeah, that's it, right? Like, it's actually a really interesting peripheral because it's quite sensitive and it can really tell sort of which way you're leaning and whether you're moving and, you know, yeah, like.
But then again, room scale would sort of work okay. You know, you could have the awkward moving each way and it can tell where you sort of are within the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen that game show where it's like Tetris block-shaped holes that are moving towards you, and you have to like fit your body
Hole
to that?
in the wall, I think it was
You have
called.
to move your body into the shapes.
Yeah, it could be like that.
Well, can we mix that? Can we mix that with the idea of someone walking down the street coming towards you? You have to like move your body in a certain way so that you get past them without moving too much. But they're also moving there, like it's a multiplayer game, so you have to move your body in compatible ways that you're just going to like slide past each other and not touch each other.
Yeah.
So each game mode has different mods, so
There you go.
different
And it's
modifications that
moddable.
you can do.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm thinking because it'd be pretty awkward because generally, because maybe you can't move your feet. Maybe you can't move your feet, so you have to move, or at least you can't sort of just step to the side, right? You've got a limited space that you can be on because otherwise it's too easy. You just walk to the side. So it's maybe it's just a very narrow footpath.
Yeah.
You're on like two travelators.
Yeah.
And
Well,
and you've got to sort of position yourself.
Somehow they're coming towards each other, or one's just coming towards you and you're still or something. I don't know, but so you have to contort yourself in such a way that you're going to get past each other. But the mods can be like, maybe in this level the person coming towards you is on a stool, and so you might be able to go under their legs or something. Or
Like one of the mods could be like after people finish work and there's just a whole lot of people in business suits like getting to their job with like tie over the shoulder from going too fast, and you have to kind of fit in between all the different businessmen.
Yeah, so that's
and not get hit by the briefcase.
It's like it's the rush hour, round, and you have to just keep moving your body between different poses to get past this crowd of people.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, is there more we can do there? Is there things we can mod into it?
I think again, this is rather than just a pure VR game. This needs another peripheral.
Okay,
but the peripheral I'm thinking of again is the Kinect.
All right.
One of the Kinect cameras, you can actually, see the skeletons and all that sort of stuff. So it's quite easy to contort your body, and it'll actually show, what you're.
You probably need something like that to really get the tech down.
With the Vive or something, unless you have motion sensors all over your body, then something
it's not going to figure it out.
Work. Yeah.
Oh, that's for the implementation phase. We're just the designers. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It comes literally with the VR suit.
Yeah.
And the VR suit is like
this is Vive
version
into the
3,
headset
and it's just got
this whole game costs $20,000.
But it's so much fun. Like
it's great.
It's the best game ever made.
Yeah. Human Tetris, gotta buy it.
There you go. We've got a name. I don't know. Is Tetris a trademark? I don't know.
Yeah, we could call it Tetru or something.
All right, cool.
So I think it's about time to go into the eye of the storm.
Let's do it.
We can be found on Twitter. We are at Lamestorming.
You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/lamestorming.
You can email us, podcast@lamestorming.com.
We are on iTunes. Just search for Lamestorming, 2 words. You can rate us, review us, or subscribe to us there.
Please rate us.
Yeah.
You can check out our website, lamestorming.com.
We'd like to thank Kuradust, who wrote the song Mount Defiance, which you can hear at the beginning and end and right now.
We'd like to plug Zencastr, Zencastr. They've provided us with the awesome recording capabilities for our guest today. It makes things a lot easier. So that's zencastr.com. Check out all the details there.
And we'd just like to plug our other podcast, Two Sweary Dads. You can find that at twoswearydads.com. And that is a parenting podcast.
And Inge, have you got any things that you'd like to plug yourself?
Yeah, I'm Inge Berman and I work for S1T2. We're working on a virtual reality adventure game called Kept. You can find us at Kept VR for our Twitter and Kept VR as well for our Instagram page and keptgame.com. And you can follow us for our progress on the game and all of our development tips and tricks.
Great. All right, let's get back into it.
3, 2, 1, click. More.
Glow.
Figure.
Silence.
Waves.
I know. I was just thinking of the waves works in there.
Waves.
Waves, and waves. Well, more. I think maybe we'll replace more with waves. Because more is so broad. Like every game is generally going to have something, like more of something.
More.
There could be more. I don't know. I quite like more.
So waves, so glow figure in either waves or more. But so glowing figures. Are we talking like a humanoid figure or like a big figure in a book?
I'm imagining some kind of like figure, as in a person that's glowing.
Maybe you're like standing on the beach. You're standing on the beach watching the waves come in, and there are glowing figures that you see, that you glimpse through the waves.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not sure where the game is, but it's a cool image.
It's an interactive story that you just get totally freaked the fuck out.
That's it. That's the whole story.
Yeah, it's some kind of like enlightenment simulator. It starts off with like meditation, and then you can use these things that attached to your breathing or your pulse, and you kind of do better at the game if you become more relaxed.
If you are more calm, more relaxed. Okay.
Yeah, so could be the platform, but then it could be like, I don't know, as you get more relaxed, you start to see these like glowing figures.
Yeah, well, I'm picturing that it's this meditation space, and the waves are just coming up on the shore, like you're on the beach. But as you are more relaxed, these sort of calm, glowing figures just come out of the waves, sit down next to you, and just meditate silently with you.
I'm imagining ocean noises.
And you know you're doing really well if you've just got a whole beach full of glowing figures.
Yeah.
And then you die because you're doing so well, your heart rate is just like gone down to 0.
And then you like transcend into enlightenment, and all that is left is the console on the ground. It's a beautiful story.
Yeah, well, and you become one of the glowing figures, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see this as a Nintendo Switch game. You got the Joy-Con controllers, because they can detect, minor movements.
And you're
when
sitting
you're meditating,
on the Wii Fit board.
And you have to stay really stable.
Yeah, so you've got, because I'm pretty sure Nintendo put out a like pulse monitor thing, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I think it failed miserably. The Wii Viitality sensor. I think maybe they cancelled it before it came out, but it was literally to detect your heart rate. So it's a cancelled Wii Viitality sensor game where you sit on the Wii Fit board, you've got the Wii Viitality sensor, and you just have to stay completely still and calm. Is it VR as well? I feel like it would work so much better in VR from a calming.
Yeah, it could be VR as well. I feel like everything could be VR.
But then it's no longer the Wii Switch or the Nintendo Switch or whatever the fuck it is.
They'll put VR on that eventually. We don't care about platform.
What you actually do, You literally just glue the tablet to your face.
Or
Yeah, that's it.
several tablets to
it
your face, so they
undocks,
kind of go all around.
Yeah, you have to buy two.
It undocks and
You
just
have to buy two.
it slots into the new dock, which is
Just like
literally
centimeters away from your eyes.
yeah. But
That's how they're gonna. No, come
so
on. That's how they're gonna do VR because those Joy-Cons have like gyros and stuff in them. It's literally just gonna be a face dock.
it's gonna be a face dock.
It already is a face dock
so-
with like Google Cardboard and
Well, there
stuff.
you go.
Just
Exactly. They're
dock
just
your phone
taking
in
that
it.
to the next level. The Nintendo Switch face dock, and that's how they're gonna do Nintendo's half-assed version of VR.
That is a great name as well. You have to
Yeah.
hold on to that.
Yeah. TM.
Face dock.
And you know how every single other one has like a cable running to a computer. What this has is literally just an AC cable just running to the wall,
This has to plug in to the power still.
just into
Yeah,
the power.
yeah.
So it's just literally like an extension
There's
cord.
a big, heavy
It's
like power brick hanging off it that you just kind of have to balance.
Yeah.
They didn't provide a
Just
long
make this
enough
game
cable to
as-
reach the ground.
Just make it as cumbersome as possible so it's harder to get relaxed.
Well, exactly. Yeah, it's this sort of meta thing of the console itself is working against you.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, how does it detect movement of the screen, given that the screen doesn't actually have, like, do you have to actually put the Joy-Cons on the side?
Yeah,
of the
that's what I'm
screen?
saying. Yeah, you've got it on there. You've got it on there as if it's in the undocked version, like how they hook onto the side, but it's docked onto your face.
Face dock with Joy-Cons on the side, so people come in, they see you literally like glued into this.
Sitting,
While
just like sitting
on
cross-legged
the Wii Fit board.
on the Wii Fit board with this like weird thing attached to your finger, measuring your heart rate.
Like, I don't know where gaming's going, but I'm not sure
Yeah,
about this.
and they say something and you fall over because they distract you, and you're just like, "Fuck! I had 5 glowing figures. It was my high score."
was so relaxed.
But because you as you get more relaxed, you go up and up and up and up. You gradually start levitating.
Oh, of
Because you're sitting on the Wii Fit board. As you fall forward, your character in the game starts to fall. It's like you literally think that you're actually falling because you're so immersed.
You're so immersed, and you feel like you're 3 feet. Why did I use feet? We're in Australia. You're like a meter above the ground.
Yeah, so you literally think that you're going to face plant, and all of a sudden your knees just hit the ground. It's like, oh. But for that half a second that you're actually falling, you're like, oh my god, I'm going to die.
Yep. Well, particularly because your heart rate was so low, you were so relaxed, and then it just spiked to like 150.
Well, that's the goal. That's the goal of the game. It's what's going to sell copies.
Well, you could have the opposite goal as well, like how high you can get your heart rate.
I feel like that would be with like tennis or something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I
Or
get.
something
No, I'm just
terrifying.
thinking it's just constant jump scares.
It's how high you can get your heart rate without moving.
Yeah, get them as relaxed as possible, and then jump scare.
Yeah, it's when detect when they turn their head and just like put one of the glowing figures right in their face, staring at them with these
Oh my god, it's like heart attack
soulless
simulator,
eyes.
but in
Yeah.
real life.
Yeah, and you'll be able to detect when they have a heart attack. So
Yeah,
you
and
must.
that's just a
Because
thing
the
that
Wii
sends
Vitality
like
Yeah.
sensor is just like perfect.
it automatically dials 000 if you have a heart attack.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
got it covered.
perfect.
Yeah,
They had
But
to
it's
put that
disabled
in
at
there for legal
launch.
reasons.
yeah.
It's DLC.
That's it's a fucking in-app purchase.
Do you want it
So
with this feature or
yeah.
not? It'll be $10.
It looks like you're having a heart attack. enter your
like to
password.
call?
Enter your Wii Store password, Nintendo Store password to download to call AAA
And friend code.
and friend code, like 20-digit friend code.
And rate this app.
Yeah, exactly. And rate the app 4 stars or higher.
Okay, we'll send help. Alrighty.
Yep. 3, 2, 1, click.
Overlap.
Compare.
Fix.
Okay, that all works together reasonably well. I'm picturing overlapping something, comparing it so you can fix it. I don't know what the thing is, but DNA maybe. You're like comparing DNA strands. Some sort of
Okay.
genomic construction game. Doctor, like, I don't know, repair.
So maybe you're right. You're overlapping these GNA sequences so you can compare them. And the fixing component is the fact that the DNA sequencer keeps on going down. So you
have to hit it with a wrench.
Have to hit it with a wrench or go replace the fuse, or higher levels, it breaks more often and it comes up with little codes that you got to go, okay, it's an F3 problem, so go find this.
Maybe you have like a working, like a properly solved medical problem next to you, and like this is the comparing aspect of it, and then you have to kind of compare your own medical procedure results to the one next to you.
Yeah, so you sort of reverse engineering. What they would have had to do to fix it. Well, I like this idea of like it's basically a cross between Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, where you sort of got this device with these just weird things that you have to do to keep it running, as opposed to preventing it from exploding. And then this like sort of pattern matching problem solving thing that you keep getting distracted from.
Yeah, like a spot the difference puzzle.
Yeah. And again, I guess it's VR because it makes sense. I'm not complaining. VR's awesome, but yeah. So because then you're switching back and forth. You're turning to the thing. And it's like, oh, you've got to flip through the manual because it's got this error message come up, and it's like, okay, hit it.
And it's a digital manual that you're flipping through,
clicking through it with your controller, and it's like, all right, hit it on the left side twice, and then on the right side once, and it'll start working again. And of course, you got a time limit because your patient's gonna die.
Yeah.
We need this genome sequenced completely, and then compared against previous.
So you've just got
you've
got like a ticker tape of DNA coming out like the side of the machine every few seconds or whatever, and some sort of like spot the difference or sort of puzzle matching comparing game that you have to do. But there's a time limit, and also this sort of secondary game of figuring out how to fix your wonky DNA sequencer.
Sounds very complicated.
That's actually really cool. I can imagine that just being, I don't know, in this sort of cartoony world. It could even be, you know what though? It could be, you could expand that even further and make it into a multiplayer thing. Kind of like Keep Talking, Nobody Explodes, where one person has the manual, but I'm more thinking the different people, kind of a cross between that and, what was the phone one that was similar, where you had to like call out your different controls and things? Space team. So is that like one of you has the manual and you have to say it out to the other person and they have to try and do what you're saying? That's what Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes is like. Like one person is either on the computer or in VR, and the other people are just in real life with a paper manual. But Space Team is one where it's a phone-based one, but you can have up to, I think, like 8 people on their phones.
Nice.
But different people have different controls, and they're getting instruction. Like one person will get an instruction for like reverse the polarity on the dipthium whatever generator. But you don't, like, that person doesn't have a control for that. It's someone else has that control, and they have to do it. So there's a real like communication aspect. So I'm sort of picturing that, like one person is trying to solve these problems, but maybe they need information from someone else, and then someone else is trying to keep the machine running, but they don't actually have the manual, or they only have parts of the manual or something.
I love that idea, because it could be that like a game on your phone that everybody in the room has like the same sort of thing going on their phone, but they all have different roles that are given to them in like so at the beginning of the game.
So it could be like one person is in VR. So it's almost it's also like I don't know if you've seen the Jackbox Party Pack games where you've got like the sort of the central game and then phones that all have different things. So everyone else is on their phones. It could be a really good way to actually make VR gaming more social. Everyone else is on their phones and they have their tasks, and then the person in VR has sort of a more involved task, but it involves listening to everybody else who has different sources of information and stuff.
who could see different things. I think is so great, because you can laugh at the person in VR as well. Which
of course,
everybody wants
well,
to do
and
that.
because the people on their phones can have some level of control. If they hit the wrong button, or if they do a particular thing on their phone, like something happens in VR, like an explosion goes off over here because they did the wrong thing and one of the machines blew up.
Oh, so the guy in VR has to then pick up a fire extinguisher, walk over and just quickly put out the fire.
Yeah, exactly.
And fix all the problems that the people on the phone are creating accidentally, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So rather than like a keep talking where if you do make a mistake, everything sort of explodes, you've still got a way of actually completing it. It's just that
you
you've
might
got more
lose
stuff
points.
to now do.
You could do that in a lot of different. Like it almost doesn't matter what the tasks are. Then it's sort of just that general idea is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Just even going around with a fire extinguisher, putting out that fire. Okay, now go and quickly compare these two things. Oh, look, some other problems happened over here because the guys on their phones haven't been able to like do their little tasks. So maybe they're doing their task to make you.
Yeah, they're like trying to help you. Like maybe to like solve your problem. There are a few stages you have to go through. It's like, oh, now I have to, put the DNA into the
hydrochloric acid and
exactly. Except that the other people didn't mix the acid properly, so it like screws it up, and you have to start over.
Yeah, well, it could be also that like some people could be against the person in VR winning,
there's like a
and other
saboteur.
people could be trying to make the person in VR win. So you're actually having this like war.
But nobody knows.
The person in VR is your like pawn. No, nobody knows who everybody is.
Yeah, nobody knows who's trying to sabotage and who's trying to help. So they could be accidentally screwing something up. It's like, whoops, I put too much lithium in to the mixture.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
But they can help out quite a bit so that they're not just immediately going, dude, you're the only one here that.
Well, that's exactly it. No, they've got the same. They've got the same
something.
control. Yeah, well, they've got the same controls. It's just they have to be subtle about screwing it up in small ways. And if the person doesn't make it through the task, then they win or get more points or something.
Or they can screw it up when someone else is trying to push their button. They can add an extra ingredient sort of thing and cause
like shift the blame,
chemical reactions and
or people are trying to put out a fire and then someone's in the corner just like pouring some I don't know some poison on the floor or something like who was that?
Well, that's it. Yeah, while other people were distracted, you could maybe be doing things too. Because maybe you can like on your phone you can like swipe between the different machines or different stations or something to be doing different things.
I don't know how you could see like if people are on different machines and stuff, you could have like a little label saying like so and so is repairing blah.
Yeah, or maybe you can see if people are on the same machine as you, but if they move away, you just know they're not where you are. Yeah, so it's like, hey, we're supposed to be fixing this thing. Like, where were you? It's like, oh well, I was over here. I had to do
like,
this
I
other
was
thing.
Fixing that one.
When in fact they were over on the other one. Yeah.
I'm imagining like a science lab kind of thing now.
Yeah, exactly.
I was thinking medical before, but now I'm thinking science lab.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
and then the person in VR is just like frantically trying to solve this shit and telling everyone to work together. And it's like, come on, I need this information.
Come on, guys.
It doesn't actually matter that there's a saboteur. I can deal with that.
Well, I wonder if the person in VR, but the person in VR can look around and see what station any person is on at any one point.
Exactly. So the person in VR actually kind of
they have that extra information, but they might be so focused on what they're doing. Like it's this real interesting game about just splitting your concentration. Like if you really want to do your task better, then you can concentrate on your task, but it might mean that you miss that. Jeremy over there went 2 stations over and hit the wrong button on purpose over on while everyone else was trying to solve something else.
But the person in VR just has so many jobs that they can't
actually keep track of everything.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
I would play this
because I'm just picturing them like as the people on the phone swipe from one to the other, the person in VR just sort of sees with the character like run over there, run around them to the different stations. It's really cool.
That is very cool.
It's reminded me of like werewolves.
Yeah, it is very much like werewolf. The different roles and things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, click. Writer.
Delay.
Average. Oh, this. Just imagine this like poor failed writer that just can't come up with an idea. It's just an average.
He's just an average writer.
He's just delaying on all of his deadlines because he just can't think of what to write. He's just an average guy. He chose this job. He doesn't know why.
You just have to keep yourself busy enough because otherwise all that's left to do is write your book. You're trying to delay it because you don't have any ideas. So he just keeps like gravitating back towards his computer to start writing. So you have to throw things at him to keep him busy.
Ah.
Well, I've already come up with the title for the game. It's called Procrastination.
Okay.
You could actually have, like, the writer, he goes out and has, like, this adventure, but every time he comes back, just got writer's block because he doesn't remember anything that happened.
Okay.
So you need to give him, like, good experiences. Oh, better name. Procrastination.
Oh, that's cool. So yeah, he's just this guy or woman, whatever, who has an average life. So they want to be a writer, right? So they want to be a writer, but their life is average. And so yeah,
And they keep on delaying
it.
the writing for the adventures.
Well, but they're not having adventures, right? Because they're average. So that's the goal is that you have to have them break out to have better experiences. So every time, I don't know,
So
maybe
they have
it's
something better to write about.
yeah, maybe it's like an open world game in some way where you've got sort of the set path through your day, which is the average path. But every time you like go off the path and something strange happens, and you discover something or do something, you get like writer points. So that when you get home that day, you've actually managed to write a few paragraphs because you got some inspiration from the different things that happened in your day.
Yeah, you get like
So
quests.
on your list for the day, it's pick up dry cleaning and purchase food.
Yeah.
And while
You've got
you're
a
out-
to-do list every day, and you could do them in just the really normal, boring way. Maybe it's about coming up with interesting solutions to these problems.
Yeah, because you could finish the quest really, really quickly, and you could finish the game really, really quickly as well if you just do them. But then
Yeah.
you get like a really low score.
Exactly.
Or,
There's like the
a
easy
depressed
path.
person.
There's the easy path
Yeah.
through the game. So maybe it's one of these games where there's just lots of different stuff around that you can sort of pick up and use and try things out. I'm actually picturing kind of like a top-down isometric sort of view, but still this open world with just all these objects that have different things that can achieve your goal in different ways.
But there's got to be some sort of like negative thing for happening if you go, well, my weird way of going and pick up dry cleaning is a 24-kilometer drive out of the way to, go kill all these random people, like a Grand Theft Auto sort of thing.
What?
So,
Not sure there's that.
When did you become a mass murderer?
I know, I'm thinking maybe a little bit more mundane than Grand Theft Auto where you're actually running people down and stuff. I think it's more
Maybe he
about
decides
Yeah,
to
I'm
go
just
to the
saying
beach.
that-
things you can use. Well, because you still have to achieve, like, you've got a time limit in that time is passing, so you still have to achieve the goals. So you can't just rack up points, sort of thing, doing just random crazy stuff, I guess. But
But it could be
if
like
instead of driving to the dry cleaners and paying them money and taking your dry cleaning and driving it home, you like manage to create a like cannon out of a post box and I don't know something, and you put your dry cleaning in there and you aim it and you fire it at your house, and if you hit it, then there, the dry cleanings, I picked it up, it's home.
That's cool. It could go just completely quirky.
I was almost thinking, yes, you do pick up your dry cleaning, but you also stop a mugging that's happening next door because you happen to go late or something like that. You didn't go at your normal time. You actually stopped to pet a dog that changed your timing for the day, and that meant that you actually were there at a different time to stop this mugging, and you get noticed in the paper, and that gives you publicity.
It could be also like a largely text-based game that's like your decisions change your kind of personality and in the end creates a different book or something because he's a writer.
Yeah, that would.
So your ending could be different as to like then the book comes out at the end and it gives you like a little, I don't know, a short blurb of what you actually ended up
Of
writing
what you
about
wrote.
yourself.
Yeah, sort of each day that you go through can have a bunch of different paths, basically, or different ways that you generate the text that resulted from that day, and that ends up your final book that you can read and then share on
the
Facebook.
decisions that you made. Yeah, and it's like a personality test.
Yeah.
Like, these are the things that I chose. I'm a psychopath.
It's like, yeah, maybe you do have the option of like managing to kill people and stuff, and it's the final book is just this dark, crazy,
Or like,
horrid
really, you
thing.
spent...
Chicken scratch handwriting and
Yeah, maybe it even affects the handwriting.
Or like, you played a 60-hour game and all you did was pat kittens. Really? That's it?
And the final book is just meow, 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 meow. Because that also makes you a crazy person.
I like games. I like cats. Done.
I reckon you could actually, track all the little things that you did throughout each day, and it's like you kicked 3 cats. You did.
Yeah, well, that could have a little effect.
You ran over 5 pedestrians.
Yeah.
You stole,
created 15 explosions.
3 condoms from.
And you skipped 3 cutscenes, you monster.
Also, you forgot to go to work every single day.
And you didn't shower. There was a shower.
Yeah, exactly. The final book just has stink lines coming off it.
Yeah.
It's like covered in grime.
Hygiene level 0.
So the first time you play it, you didn't realize that you had all these like normal objectives that, everyone has to go to work. Everyone has to do this.
It's like, kind of like The Sims-ish.
It could be a real interesting cross, though, between like a Sim-style game. So, yeah, you do have to do the mundane, boring things every day. But if you spend too much time just doing the sort of maintenance, boring things every day, then your book doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So you have this pressure to kind of go out there and do things that are a bit differently or achieve those tasks in different ways. So maybe instead of going to the bathroom normally, you climb onto the roof of the post office and piss off the side. You might get arrested, but then you just get even more writer points.
Yeah, it adds a chapter to your book.
Exactly.
Remember that time that I got arrested for public urination?
Procrastination. I really like that name.
It's a bad name now. I thought it was great at the time.
No, I like it. I like it.
You can maybe you go into the dry cleaners on day 1 and there's a help wanted sign in the window, and therefore you can actually become a worker at the dry cleaners. But while you're there, you find out some money laundering scheme that's going on, and that gives you something to write about.
Yeah, well, there could be all sorts of little stories. Like there could be a lot of replayability if there's sort of just all these little interesting stories hidden about this town, but that depending on the decisions you make, you can discover different narratives, and again that affects the end result of the book you end up writing.
Yeah,
I'm imagining like a first person The Sims meets Grand Theft Auto sort of.
But with
less cars and
less murder.
I kind of like the idea that it is as you said, it's an open world, but there's maybe no car mechanics, so that if you want to go
if your
somewhere,
car breaks
you
down,
select from a list.
I know what you meant. You meant that there's no car driving mechanics in the game, but you said there are no car mechanics. So it's just that your car is broken and nobody can fix it.
I was thinking it's more that you select from a drop down list where you want to actually go.
Yeah, so it's not a full open world in that you can just walk around and drive around anywhere. It's more just there are.
Yeah, but when you
can go anywhere at any time.
When you get to a place, you can sort of go within a block of that sort of place, and I don't know. Then you've got different things that you can do within that
space. Yeah,
you can pet that cat, and you can travel down this alleyway and search within the garbage and
get mugged.
But you need to be at home at 6:00 because that's when dinner's on.
Because that's when the purge starts.
Wasn't expecting that.
That's the big twist. Everything's normal for the whole first day. I would love that to be the twist of that game. That's fantastic. This guy lives this absolute mundane life, and then all of a sudden at the end you're like, the purge is starting. Oh god. Descended upon by people in masks killing.
Good plot twist.
All right.
Okay. So, Ben, would you like to introduce our last section of today?
Yes. So, when we have a guest on from the games industry, we like to do a little segment where we take the name of the game you're working on and basically come up with an alternate game idea that could have that name. Basically using that name as a prompt.
Great.
So, your game is Kept. Have at it. Where are we going? Kept.
Yeah, I've got no ideas for this.
All right. Well, maybe it's some sort of hoard, some sort of resource that you're hoarding that you need to have kept by the end of the game, perhaps like sort of maybe an arcadey sort of thing where you've got multiple teams and everybody starts off with a certain amount of a resource, but you have to go out and steal more of it, and by the end of the game, it's however much you've kept, and that's how you score.
Yourself.
Now, that's, again, very broad, but let's come up with what you could be stealing from somebody. I don't know, for some reason my mind went to, like, primary school and stationery, like pencils and pens, because you're always losing that shit in primary school. Other kids stealing your stuff.
Or answers to tests.
Yeah.
And, like, you keep the ones that are actually right to yourself. Could be a learning game.
Ooh.
Oh, so there's sort of a strategic element there of you want them to steal the wrong ones.
Yeah. But it is actually some kind of, like, maths and learning game. So, like, you actually do need to think about, like, it throws you questions that you have to answer.
Edutainment.
Edutainment.
See, I actually took Ben's idea of losing pens and that sort of stuff, and went to, like, maybe there's within the school there's like this little gnome or elf that is going around, and it's a stealth game, and he's like picking up all the pencils and stuff that fall onto the floor, and he's got to sort of get around all the back into the vent system or something like that.
Are you playing as him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a stealth game, and you're running in between like this massive world with all these towering kids
sure
above you, and you're like picking up a single pencil at a time.
Have pencil case fall on your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there could also be a thing going on in the background where the kid's like, miss, I lost my pencil. And they're like, to the principal's office or to the torture chamber. It's a weird school.
It's a medieval school.
Yeah. Contemporary
to the
schooling.
Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like the idea. I don't think it's ever really been done. A first-person stealth game,
But, like,
the kids are absolutely towering over the top of you, and you're running in between like desks.
Yeah, it's like a
kids'
stealth
legs and all
stealth
this sort of
action
stuff
game.
just to
So
pick
there's
up.
sort of a lot of reflex-based stuff, but also you have to make sure that you're out of line of sight of the teacher or the kids. And it gets harder and harder as you get further to the front of the class because there are more kids who can see you then.
And maybe have like a list of things that you need to be able to like craft different things or something.
Yeah. So it's not just sort of collectibles in general. It's you need these specific things. So maybe you even have to like sort of scout the area, and it's like, oh, little Jenny in row 2, 3 from the left has the red pencil that I need. So I'm gonna have, when she's writing the answers to a test, you have to like throw something at her. So she drops
to make her drop it.
So that she knocks it off.
Drops it and it rolls off the table because you can't get on the desks. You'll be seen,
Yeah, because you could start up like high up, and then so you can see everybody.
Exactly.
And then you have to throw things, and then you have to run down and do the next part.
You can get you can get up onto the shelves and stuff and climb, but you can't. Yeah, like it's a bit of a trek to get up there. You got to sort of do a bit of a climbing puzzle. So you sort of you have to plan it out for all the different things you want and try to set something in motion, perhaps that makes it so that they're all accessible to you on the ground.
So maybe you can set up like a spitball sort of thing to hit her in the back of the neck, and then she sort of knocks the pencil into the ground. You've got a time limit to then get down.
Well, that's it, before she
get
picks
across, pick it up, and get out from underneath that desk. Otherwise, she'll see you as she goes to pick it up.
Well, maybe so.
And then you have to kill her if she sees you.
Definitely. Yeah. Then you switch to the lethal poison.
He's got Medusa powers, and if you look into his eyes, you turn to stone.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking though, just to sort of
notice.
make it not too challenging. Maybe you're actually like super quick, but in your terms, what that means is that everyone kind of moves like at a slower pace, like sort of half speed or something.
Oh, so it's kind of like a bullet time thing all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Like it's you're this tiny little elf or whatever in this world, and so they're all moving kind of in somewhat slow motion. So you've got a bit more time, right? Like you're fairly quick, so you can fire that spitball or set up that spitball to fire, and you've got 30 seconds maybe to get down there, as opposed to the 5 seconds or whatever it would actually take.
You can literally look up in the air and you literally see the spitball just gradually going, and she just moves at the last second.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
That could actually be awesome.
Particularly if you're able to sort of set up a chain reaction of different things. It's like, okay, well, I know that, there's a ruler on the edge of that on the edge of that desk. So if I drop this on there at this point, it's going to fling the eraser over there and hit her in the back of the head. So as long as I'm down at this point before that happens, I'm going to have enough time to go and get it. And yeah, you're just seeing it playing out as you look around.
Oh, and you can actually see like the arrows of like when you've organized something to happen, you can see the arrows of where it will.
Yeah,
where it will
you've kind of got a view
to,
of
so
like
that you can
a schematic almost view of the space and what you've set up.
Oh,
You could have like super attacks that are like smoke alarms and stuff as well. So if you need like a bunch of things all at once.
Or as emergencies as well, like if you're about to be seen, you can set something off that just distracts everyone and you can get to safety.
Yeah.
Maybe you can maybe you've got like a little noise generator that says a curse word and the teacher hears it and just like starts yelling at the class and everybody has to pay attention.
Susie, go to the principal's
you can
office.
say it like right behind one kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Get
Get him in trouble. Well, and that could even be a technique to like, oh, they've got something like on their desk or in their desk. And you have to actually make them leave their desk, and so there are ways that they can get sent to the principal's office or like called up to the board, or I don't know, you can have different techniques. There's a lot of potential there.
Oh, that's really got a lot of potential. And then right at the end to get the kept back in, if they happen to collect all the things, you go to the treasure hoard and you see all the bits and pieces that you managed to keep.
Yeah.
And it's like red pencil kept, this thrown out, this kept.
I think it could be like a really beautiful visual of this like cave that's just full of stationery and stuff, like your hoard, like
the stuffed toy that one kid brought in one day. Yeah, that'd be really awesome.
I obviously this won't be VR because like
I wasn't imagining it was VR.
I'm seeing it as a
but like a high quality
style.
Well, either first person or third person, like stealth games.
I feel like part of it could be first person, like when you're shooting the things could be first person, and then when you're going and like collecting the things, it could turn into third person.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. So you've got like the first person element when you stop, it sort of then zooms into moving, and then as soon as you go to start running, the camera just stays where it is as the
character
moves out from starts running. So it sort of just and then follows at a certain distance behind. That could really work well.
I like it,
and especially because platforming in first person never works.
No, I think you need it. You need the movement stuff to be third person for sure. But I'm picturing just like a really nice, current gen Xbox One, PS4. Like you could make that look really good, and I'm thinking almost a really the depth of field effect to make it look like. So you can tell that you're sort of small, like this short focal length. So that when you are looking at the things, or like if you're running around, but you're just seeing these things in the background, like the eraser flinging through the air in slow motion, but it's sort of blurry in the background. Yeah. And you can, if you look at the stuff, you can see it better. But I'm just picturing that overall scene of just these things, just this chaos erupting behind you that you've set up as your character in focus is running along, and everything behind it, in sort of soft focus, is like papers flying through the air, and
you literally see the glass tipping over and just going all over Susie's dress, and she's standing up, and everyone turns around, and you like snatch up a pencil, you quickly run that into the area, you grab the eraser, and you run that into the area.
It's all happening in slow motion, and there's some sort of mechanic so that you can tell if you're going to be seen or not. You've got, I don't know, line of sight sort of thing, that if you're in a because you're pretty fast, right? So you have to be in their vision for a long enough time for them to see you. But and if they're distracted by stuff, then like they're less likely to notice you.
Well, I can imagine, there was some kid chewing gum and he puts it on the floor and you happen to run through it and it's like...
It slows you down.
And then you're held there for a little bit of time.
Yeah, or like a thing of thumbtacks spills on the ground and you can't run that way. You go somewhere a different way.
And you got to navigate around it and make sure that you're not hitting them,
not
otherwise
leaving a trail of blood.
You lose health.
I mean, geez, a thumbtack for a tiny elf, that's a pretty serious wound.
It's a sword.
It's like like being impaled on a lance or something like that.
But I love that scale thing as well. I think that just would work so beautifully with this game.
Yeah.
Just having everything towering above you.
Yeah.
I really love that kind of mechanic in games.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Like, I'm thinking the character's got to be, what, an inch tall?
I was picturing
that's tiny.
I was picturing a little
I was-
bigger than that. Like,
Yeah, I was imagining like maybe 3 inches.
yeah, they got to be able to like get up onto the desk in a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, true.
But I love the thought that you're
I'm just trying
tiny
to
as
think.
well, because I love that play with scale thing.
Yeah, that's really awesome. All right, that's cool. I think
Well, I think that's a
that's a good
winner.
one to end on. So yeah, thanks for joining us, Inge. That was a lot of fun.
Awesome, guys. Thanks so much for having me. It was so much fun.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you on. Do you want to sort of plug your website or Twitter or anything?
Yeah, for sure. So our game is called Kept. It's a virtual reality adventure game. You can find us on Twitter, we're Kept VR, and same with Instagram. That's more art shots and everything. That's also Kept VR. And our website is keptgame.com. So we have blog posts, and we share like art and technical skills and where we're going to be next and showing. If we're in your area, then come check us out.
Cool. Yeah, I hope that we'll get a chance to try that out at some point.
Yeah.
Awesome.
This has been Lamestorming, and I've been Trevor Scott.
I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Inge Berman.
Lamestorming.
I'd play that.
Or you could be a dog. You could be a dog and you'd be like, who patted me? I'm a good boy.
I'm a good boy. I know I'm a good boy. Someone patted me. Who was it?
Yeah, who was that? Hey. You shake your controller to make your tail wag to get more pats.
It definitely needs to be a VR dog game.
Yeah, that would actually be great.